Good morning, students. Today we will go through what is the connection between financial system and economic development, or we can say that how financial system is important for the economic development of the country. So, financial system plays a very significant role in the economic development of the country. So, in India, the financial system comprises of the whole network. नेटवर्क में क्या क्या आता है? कमर्शियल बैंक्स, नॉन बैंकिंग फाइनेंशियल कंपनीज, देन डेवलपमेंट बैंक्स, अदर फाइनेंशियल एंड इन्वेस्टमेंट इंस्टीट्यूशंस, ये सब फाइनेंशियल सिस्टम के नेटवर्क में आता है. एंड व्हाट दे डू इज दे ऑफर डिफरेंट फाइनेंशियल प्रोडक्ट्स एंड सर्विसेज to suit the varied requirements of the different category of people. मतलब क्या? फाइनेंशियल सिस्टम में ये सारे नेटवर्क में आते हैं. इसमें कमर्शियल बैंक्स भी आते हैं, नॉन बैंकिंग फाइनेंशियल कंपनीज भी आते हैं, फिर डेवलपमेंट बैंक्स भी आते हैं और फाइनेंशियल एंड इन्वेस्टमेंट इंस्टीट्यूशंस. ये लोग क्या ऑफर करते हैं? फाइनेंशियल प्रोडक्ट्स एंड सर्विसेज. किसको? वैरायटी ऑफ पीपल को. उनके रिक्वायरमेंट्स भी अलग अलग है और अलग अलग लोगों को के डिमांड्स को कैटर करते हैं या उनके रिक्वायरमेंट्स को फुलफिल करते हैं. सो नेक्स्ट इज दे फंक्शन. अच्छा, आफ्टर दिस वी विल कनेक्ट टू दिस पॉइंट. एज these financial networks operate in a developed capital and money market, they play a very crucial role in the development of the economy. Now, let us go through the different ways in which financial system is helping. So, mobilizing of savings. सेविंग्स मोबिलाइज कैसे करते हैं? तो यहाँ पर फाइनेंशियल सिस्टम क्या करता है? अलग अलग लोगों को इंसेंटिव्स प्रोवाइड करता है, डिफरेंट इंसेंटिव्स, एज वेल एज बाय डीपनिंग एंड वाइडनिंग द फाइनेंशियल स्ट्रक्चर दे हेल्प द पीपल. एंड अगर समझो लोगों के सेविंग्स के लिए सही फाइनेंशियल प्लान नहीं होता या फिर फाइनेंशियल प्रोडक्ट्स नहीं होते उनके डिफरेंट रिक्वायरमेंट्स को सेटिस्फाई करने के लिए, तो फाइनेंशियल सिस्टम ही नहीं होता तो सेविंग्स वुड हैव बीन आइडल विद दैट. सो दैट इज हाउ फाइनेंशियल सिस्टम हेल्प्स इन मोबिलाइजिंग सेविंग्स. सो सेविंग्स विल डेवलप द प्रोडक्शन एक्टिविटी. नाउ लेट अस गो थ्रू द नेक्स्ट. प्रमोटिंग इन्वेस्टमेंट. For any economic development, investment is absolutely essential, and investment comes from financial system. And when the investment grows, it helps in the production of goods, providing of services, as well as the incomes of the people also grows. That means as the investment grows, the economic development also will be faster. Next, encouraging investment, that is over. Next, allocating of this one, third one, encouraging investment in financial assets. अगर फाइनेंशियल सिस्टम नहीं होता तो लोग वैसे भी किसमें इन्वेस्ट? encouraging investment in financial assets. That means if financial system would not have been there, people would have invested more in gold, land, etc. rather than investing in financial products. And whenever you go for any consumption of products, like you are buying flat or land or any building or any other consumable products, what happens? It breeds inflation. मतलब inflation बढ़ेगा. Rather than shifting those savings over physical assets, here the assets that are purchased are financial assets. When the financial assets are purchased, it will help in the production activity, and that is how the economic growth will be faster. Next, allocating savings on the basis of national priorities. That means the financial system will do the efficient allocation of scarce capital or scarce savings. Savings कम होते हैं तो उसको अच्छे से अच्छे प्रोजेक्ट्स में डालेंगे। जैसे कि नेशनल प्रायोरिटी क्या है, किस सेक्टर में डालना है और किस सेक्टर में नहीं डालना है। तो efficient allocation of scarce capital will be done by the financial system. That is how it will add to the economic growth. Then creating credit. For any economic development you require large financial resources, and large financial resources only liquid cash will not help. So the commercial banks and development banks, what they will do, they will create credit, and the credit creation plus liquid cash together will satisfy the requirements of trade, production and distribution. So once the money is made available for trade, production and distribution purpose, it accelerates the economic growth. Next, financing trade, industry and agriculture. So the financial system or financial institutions want to see that thus funds should not be scarce for any worthwhile project. This worthwhile project may be of any industry or agriculture or trade. So the job of financial system is to see that the sufficient funds are available for worthwhile project, and when the industrial and agricultural activities grow, that is how it will add to the economic development of the country. Then encouraging entrepreneurial talents. So here the financial system or financial institutions come forward to encourage the entrepreneurial or managerial skills by promoting spirit of enterprise and risk-taking capacities of the entrepreneurs. And once this is done, this will help them to come out with innovative projects and make that project successful. And sometimes the financial institutions even provide the technical support or technical service, consultancy services are given to the entrepreneurs so that their project will be successful. New projects they can undertake. That is how it will add to the economic growth. And next, providing financial services. So here, providing financial services, under that we can see that sophistication and innovation is appearing in the arena of intermediate financial services. And what these financial institutions are doing, they are providing like a financial department store where not only financial products are offered but financial services are offered, and that is how the different variety of needs of their clients, let it be corporate houses or let it be individuals, their requirements are satisfied by these financial institutions. And next, last one, developing backward areas. Developing backward areas, here whenever the national development policy is taken up, the country wants to see that which are the backward areas or less developed areas, those areas should be developed. Like that the policy has to be made. So while doing that, the financial institutions will encourage the industrialists to establish their industry in those backward areas. For that they want to give all the services or even incentives and infrastructural facilities, and they want to see that their industries are successful in that area. That is how the uniform development of the country is made possible by the financial system. Now we will look into the weaknesses of Indian financial system, what weaknesses it has and how it has developed since independence. So we will see first of all, after planning has taken place, it has led to rapid industrialization in the country, and due to rapid industrialization there is a vast growth in the corporate sector and government sector. Due to this vast growth in the corporate and government sector, to their financial requirements, innovative financial instruments have been introduced. So suddenly there is a mushroom. Mushroom means quick growth in the financial intermediaries to cater the needs and the requirements, ever growing needs and requirements of financial products and finance. Now let us look into hence the financial system in India is more developed and integrated since independence. That means 50 years ago the financial system was not so grown, but now there is a good growth, but still it suffers from certain weaknesses. What are these weaknesses? First, lack of coordination between different financial institutions. Lack of coordination means the work is not defined. Which financial institution is going to look after what? So there should be a coordination, otherwise there will be overlapping of services. So lack of coordination hampers the financial system. So what is needed is there should be a proper coordination between one institution and another institution. Next, monopolistic market structure. Monopolistic market structure is another obstacle. Why? Because see, Life Insurance Corporation and Unit Trust of India. So Life Insurance Corporation, most 90% of the business is taken over by LIC of the insurance, and other companies are not getting the benefit or they are not growing. In the same way, UTI, Unit Trust of India, mutual funds business is mostly taken over by them. They are like monopolies in the market. So other small companies are not able to grow. So there is what happens when there is a large market captured by them? There will be inefficiency, mismanagement in their organization, and that will not help the economy to grow, and the financial system is disturbed. Next, dominance of development banks. Dominance of development banks means especially industrial financing में इनका dominance है. Development banks are treated as a backbone of the financial system, but what they are doing is they are acting just as a distributing agents. They are not taking money from the common public and then giving it to industries, but these development banks have been sponsored either by central government or by state government. So through government, whatever the funds they are getting, they are giving it to industries. So the common public money savings is not generated into productive activities. This is what the problem here is, the dominance of development banks. Then inactive and erratic capital market. This is also a biggest weakness, because capital markets play a very important role in the good financial system, but capital markets in India are erratic, and that is why the industrial or corporate sector will depend more on development banks and not on capital markets. And many of the common people are interested more in investing money in physical assets rather than financial assets. They don't want to take the risk. Due to this erratic nature of the capital market also, the financial system is hampered. Next to that, prudent means होशियारी से काम करना. Imprudent means बिना होशियारी से. Imprudent financial practice, what is that? Generally the development banks dominance is there. They are acting as the dominant people who are able to finance the industrial sector. So what they do is they are giving finances in the form of term loans. Now these term loans taken by the industries, there is a capital structure. Capital structure is divided into two. Means your capital is financed through equity and through debt. So it's like 50% equity, 50% debt is okay. But suppose 90% of your capital is financed by debt, then it is very dangerous or lopsided situation. So here imprudent financial practices. Here the development banks are going on giving loans to the corporate sectors in the form of debt, and the capital through equity is not coming much. So there is no balance maintained. But now to some extent they are coming up with raising money by giving them the debentures or through units, by selling units, but still the capital structure is remaining imbalanced. Now lastly we can say that the Indian government is trying to activate the capital structure or capital market in the country. Next, there should be the integration, means combination of two or some kind of coordination between UTI and LIC. So unit linked insurance policies they are coming up with, and even IDBI is integrated with other financial institutions, and refinancing and rediscounting facilities are given by IDBI. That is how we can say that there are some developmental steps taken by the Indian government to improve the financial system in India. With this we have finished the first unit. Thank you.